working on their dock. There's children in the house that are next door. So, we might have, there's planes that go overhead. And just like thoughts that come in and we recognize and then we let it go, so we recognize it and then we put it down. If I hear the, excuse me, if I hear the hammering that's going on and I go, oh, darn, that's going to mess up my video and all that kind of stuff, it takes me away from my meditation. So instead, I'm going to try really hard, and I'd like you to try hard too, is just to notice it, any thoughts, any sensations, any sounds that happen to come through, and just notice it and come back. That's all you need to do, is just notice it and come back. So that being said, let's find a comfortable place to sit, and noticing the shoulders over the hips and the head over top of the spine, noticing the foundation that you're sitting on, whether you're sitting in a chair, you're sitting on the floor, on a cushion. It doesn't matter. You don't need to sit on the floor. One residency I went to, there was a woman from China, and she said, why are so many people sitting on the floor? That looks so uncomfortable. And I said, well, I don't know. It's sort of like that's what, a lot of people do. And she said, oh, well, we just sit on the floor with our feet on the floor, and then that's our grounding. So however you're sitting, it doesn't really matter. There's no judging. That's a big part of meditation and of Buddhist philosophy, is there's no judging. We talk about second, third, and fourth arrows. Some of you that have worked with me before, that say you say something that you wish you didn't say, but then you spend 3 days beating yourself up about it, and the shoulda, coulda, wouldas, and imagining the relationship is over, or whatever it is. All of those separate things are arrows, and it's bad enough that we have one arrow, but we know that suffering is part of life. We all suffer, so to expect not to suffer is unrealistic. So the pain, they say, if I get this right, that the pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. So the pain is I said something I wish I didn't say, okay? But the suffering occurs if I hang on to it. If I hang on to it and I carry it around and I throw it in my, proverbial backpack, or I went to another training, and the woman said to me, the trainer said, put the bucket down already. Like I was carrying around stuff, I just put it down, just put it down, so I eventually was able to. So, it's a work in progress, but let's practice using rain on this sunny day, and but we're going to work with something that's a little bit more challenging, perhaps. So again, finding your seat, taking your seat, whatever that means to you, starting again, beginning again, letting the eyes close if you wish, noticing the weight of the hands or the contact of the hands, noticing any surface that the body has contact with. When I'm inside, I don't necessarily go here, but when I'm outside, where I usually go next is, what do I hear? What am I noticing? Here I can hear the trees rustling, and there's some Canadian geese that are in the lake behind me, so they're squawking. There's something about nature that just makes me smile. My face just smiles. So allowing your face to soften, you can allow the smile to be there. Allowing the shoulders to fall back and relax. Trying to open up the heart space and relaxing the belly, so that this next breath comes to a softening belly. letting go of any tension in the buttocks muscles, the thighs, the lower legs, all the way out the feet. And if you happen to be lying down, you know, just starting at the head and noticing what's tight, even if you're sitting, and just letting that drain into the floor and Mother Earth. She can take care of it. We don't need to carry it around. Sometimes if we bring breath or a little focus to an area that's tight or struggling, we can allow that area to relax, and or we notice that it doesn't feel the discomfort all the time, that it comes and goes, sort of like the geese that must be behind me. They won't be squawking all day, or the sound of the vehicle that's on the road. I hear it and then it goes away, and that's what we need to do or try to do with thoughts or emotions. We can just notice them and then put them down. Acknowledging the breathing. Feeling the sensations of breathing. No need to alter the breath, but just noticing it will often allow it to settle down, get longer, get deeper. Maybe even taking an inhale and letting an audible sigh be your exhale. So inhaling, and then an exhale that's ah. Inhaling, and an audible sigh, oh. I mean, your parasympathetic nervous system, your relaxation response, just really loves that. Sort of the noise that you might make when you step into or sit down into a warm tub of water. Just that, Or you take off your work clothes and you put on your comfy clothes when you get home, and it's just, take off those high heels or take off those work boots, and just, it feels good to let the body breathe. So just bringing that to your breath. Maybe breathing back from 10 again, since we practiced that yesterday. And so it's not that we're counting the breaths as much as we're breathing and then we're saying, okay, that's 10. And then we take an inhale and an exhale that we're focusing on, and then that's 9. So beginning at 10, going down to 1, and if you get lost, just go back and start at 10 again. It's fine. Like I said, you can't do anything wrong at all. The mind wanders, we just bring it on back. I have a girlfriend that just, her and her husband got a puppy. So I am sure they're going to be teaching that puppy to sit eventually. And so, you know, they don't beat the puppy when they doesn't listen or doesn't pay attention. You're just going to pick up the puppy and bring it back and say, sit and stay. You don't want to scare it. You're just going to, so that's what we do with our awareness or our attention. It wanders off like a puppy. We pick it up lovingly and bring it back to wherever we are in the body. And we say, stay. Please stay. I'd like you to stay. It's okay that you wander, but I just want you to come back and stay. So we've allowed our bodies to become grounded to the surface. We've noticed the sounds in our surrounding, whatever they are in your case. So let's do the breath. So starting at 10. That's 10. That's 9. That's my pace. You just keep going at your own pace. Breathe, and then and exhale, and then that'll be 8. You may be feeling like your breath is getting a little bit longer and you're sinking a little bit more deeply on the surface. And that's fine, and maybe not. But with each breath, just letting go a little bit more. And so wherever you are in the breathing, let's bring the focus back. Maybe just doing a quick check-in with the heart to see where the heart is. Maybe it has nothing to say, but just sort of checking in with the heart. And then checking in with thoughts. You know, maybe it's, oh gosh, where's Deb going to take us today? But I'm not going to take you anywhere. You're going to take you somewhere. You have complete control of this, and there's no way, absolutely no way to do it wrong. So with the next breath, just allowing to come in. And a technique that's interesting, that if any kind of negative stimuli just sets your nervous system a twitter, see it on the movie screen, but you're all the way in the back. Or you can even be in the back looking through a window so that it's further away. You can even have the scene happen in black and white. My niece that has small children, her son, when he says something on TV that sounds scary or is scary, she says, turn off the volume and see if that helps. So maybe even this scene that you're going to play out in your mind's eye is in black and white. It has no sound. You're standing outside this situation and merely watching it. So bring something to mind, something that you're working on. Maybe it's just a project you're working on. My husband was re-bricking our patio, and so things don't usually stress him out so much. But I would think towards the end, it was just wanting to get it done. So whatever it is, I mean, that would be for him like a 2 or 3 on stress. But you know, for some of us, COVID, because we don't have to be out and around, might only be a 5. For others, COVID, we, work at a nursing home, and so it's a 10. So choose something that's a 5 or less on a scale of stress, 10 being the most stressful. So I'm going to be quiet a minute because I need to think of something, and I want to be quiet so you can too. So okay, so I have mine, and I hope you have yours. And if it's not a situation, maybe it's something that's going on in your body. Maybe it's a stressor in your body, maybe a body part hurts. And you can focus on that as long as it's less than a 5. And it doesn't need to be a situation that happened recently. It really could be something a long time ago. So bring it into view as much as you can and project it on that screen, or feel like you're there if you can do that, if that's not going to cause you harm. Notice the sounds, notice the room. Notice the people that are there. Notice the words that were being said, and notice the words that you perceive you're going to need to say if you're working on a project and you have to go into your colleagues and say something, or your boss, or merely having to go back to work. I'm making this during the COVID pandemic, and so, speaking to people, to parents about possibly sending their kids back to school, or they themselves, if they're teachers or counselors or whatever, having to go back to school. If that causes you over 5, don't go there. But if it's something that is less than 5, so bringing that scene into your mind's eye and then expanding it if you can. So I'm thinking in my mind's eye and I'm doing it with my hands. So I'm up here in my head that I'm picturing it, and I'm going to grab the bottom of it and I'm going to pull it all the way down so it goes through, that vagus nerve area. So the throat and the chest and the belly, and notice what is happening there. What emotions do I notice? There's probably more than one, so naming them and claiming them. Maybe it's fear, maybe it's self-judgment, maybe it's I have a friend that says it comes down to love or fear. So that's why I'm sort of stumbling with coming up with other adjectives. So fear, it can be stuckness. It can be being stuck. And then where do you feel that in your body? Where is that? Is there pressure in your heart? How does your heart space feel? And even just embodying that sitting here. So if that means, and if you open your eyes a second, that means you feel like you need to scrunch up and protect because you feel like you're going to get a blow to the stomach, just allowing the body to fully experience that. Or it's fear and you need to put your hands on your heart or your hands over your face. Whatever it is, let the body experience fully what you're feeling. Maybe it's shame, maybe it's doubt. Maybe it's fear of not getting it right. So whatever emotions have come to the table, we're going to lay out our best linen and we're going to invite them to tea. So literally, I want you to put a tablecloth on the table. If you can, I want you to invite these emotions to the table. You're going to picture that you have your best tea set, your best, whatever you have, the stuff that was grandma's that's special to you. You're putting it out for these emotions that you might be struggling with. And what's interesting, do these emotions have a physicality? You know, are they creepy little, trolls? Are they actual people from your past or your present? But whatever it is, I mean, the table can be far away, and if this is too much of a stretch for you, then certainly don't invite them to tea, but have them be down there on the movie screen and you're waving to them. And you're allowing them to be in your space. And then investigating what that feels like in the body. Tightness or pain or sort of twittering or pressure on the head, pain in your feet, whatever it is, just notice. Where do you feel that fear? And then placing your hand on your heart, so on your chest, maybe even putting both hands on your heart. And Tara Brach is known for saying, "It's okay, sweetheart," to herself when there's something that she's afraid of and she's doing the rain meditation. It's gonna be okay. We're gonna get on the other side of this. As long as we keep our feet moving in the process, you haven't gotten it wrong unless you've quit. So just allowing some loving kindness, or what you would say to your best friend. "Wow, it seems like you're really struggling. I'm so sorry that you're struggling with this so much. I'm here for you. I will be here for you. My heart is here for your heart. My heart," and this is from me, this is from Deb, "my heart is there for you. Sending you love and sending you kindness and sending you well-being. And wishing to you to be well and healthy and peaceful. And then I want you to do that for yourself. I want to be healthy. I want to be well. I am well. I am peaceful. Even if it's not true. This is setting an intention. I am calm. I am peaceful. I am at peace. And then noticing how that feels. And sometimes we have to practice this quite a few times to even allow ourselves to provide loving kindness to ourselves. And you can let your hands go back down to your lap, and then noticing the surface that you're sitting on, and then noticing the sounds around you, the breath that you're breathing, and then just allowing your eyes to open up. So it takes practice. A lot of us are better at providing that nurturing, that loving kindness to others. We could do it with our best friend. We could do it with somebody else that's struggling, but to do it for ourselves sometimes can be difficult. So I would encourage you until tomorrow or next time you're here, that you're back with me, that you practice some loving kindness. So when you catch yourself beating yourself up, rain on it. Recognize it. Allow that feeling to be there. Investigate how it feels in the body. And then give yourself a big loving kindness hug. Say to yourself what you would say to your friend. And with that, I will close and wish you a blessed day and kindness and wellness and peace.